Oh boy. Does anybody have some questions for Mr. Jan Michael? Aaron, you've been kind of silent this go around. So what do you got?
Well, you were doing such a good job. Um, well, it was really interesting to hear your take and your experience on this. I know you talked about filming in the fuselage as a big challenge. What would you say was the next biggest challenge in the cinematography department?
Making all the daylight scenes interesting. When you have someone like Kane and you have a very cool swamp-looking set, it's pretty easy to make a cool horror movie, right? You throw a little fog in there, some blood, and at that point, it's making itself. But when you're in broad daylight, and you're even though I think the film is wonderful and exceptional, but when you're just trying to get through you're trying to get to the killing, right? Like, it's a horror film. We know what we're all here for. So trying to make that interesting without a budget and with sort of locations that you just kind of can find becomes challenging. I guess, yeah, the rest of it was easy enough. I really don't think, I won't harp on any aspect of working in a swamp to be that bad, because I know Adam Green has legitimate horror stories of working in real swamps, and I don't. So yeah, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not.
Awesome. And what would you say about the prep work going into it before you started shooting? What sort of prep work?
I did something similar to what you guys did today, where I watched the first three films, not back to back to back. You guys are champions. I watched them one a night over 3 nights, and after that, it was really just kind of visiting the various locations with Adam. And when he said it very well to me at the head of pre-production. I need a very is that a Laura Ortiz? Hey,
Yeah.
sight for sore eyes. How you doing, Laura?
I'm good. I'm just pregnant eating cookies in a hotel room in Tampa.
How far? My God! Congrats. How far along?
I don't even know. 8 months. 8.
Congrats! Congratulations! That's huge. Huge. Yeah.
Well,
I am huge.
Well, I was going to say, and I'll tell her that I did make the joke earlier that she would be popping on for the Q&A, long as she didn't go into labor. So, but we're glad to see she did not. So, how are you doing tonight there, Laura? Other
I'm
than the
good.
cookies.
I'm eating cookies. Can't complain. Doing pretty good.
And it's funny, as soon as we were introducing you, your co-star, Katie Booth, was emailing.
Katie! Where is she? I don't see her.
She's not in a room yet.
Oh, okay. We can talk shit about her still.
Yes, we can. So if folks have questions for Laura as well, feel free.
Bueller?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was responding to Katie. Oh. Aaron, would you like to?
Jonathan, I think Adam has joined as well.
Yeah, I see Ariscope in the chat. Yeah. Oh, and I see an Arwen passing on by. Hi.
Aaron, can you take the helm for a second here?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Will I respond to Miss Booth?
I see an Adam Green.
Laura, I guess you figured out the link.
I did. I did.
Well, I just sent it to you.
You have a Glenn Danzig haircut going.
I know.
It's very no. It's a good thing. It's a good look on you, bro. It's a good look. And you're pulling it off. You're pulling it off.
Thank you.
I have better looks.
When do you have
Yeah.
You know, it was a pandemic, and
Sure. Hey.
couldn't cut my hair, and I've been wearing like pigtails, but
I don't know. I think it's dashing. As a man with no hair, I think any hair is a pretty good bet. Pretty solid. Bro, you know I have that exact same cup. I know for everyone listening, this isn't thrilling, but I still have it. It's still a regular part of my my cup arsenal. So.
Okay, these were wait, hold on, I'll grab one. The cast and I think crew gifts on the first Hatchet were these Newbury Comics lunch boxes that were filled with I think there's food in it and I still haven't opened it, so it's probably disgusting. But like alligator jerky and shit. Hold on, let me grab.
Well, as long as it's not cookies that Laura will want.
Okay, so everybody got one of these lunch boxes and they had those coffee mugs in it. And let's see what else was in here. There's an alligator head. There's bug spray. An alligator pen. Alligator jerky. There is food. And Victor Crowley chapstick.
Eat up.
Well, thank you, Adam, for taking the time to do this. But
what I need is just to clear this area so I can put the air mattress right.
Okay, let me go ahead and.
Adam, what time are you leaving? 8:30.
You're in a bit of behind the scenes, as it were.
Okay, this is behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay. What is this? What are we doing?
No. That was my brother.
Crap. Sorry, there we go. So,
Thanks, Jonathan.
yeah,
Okay,
no
so I still have a few minutes then? I can hear you guys. I'm just
No. I think we're still going. Or
we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to. Yeah, you got a couple minutes, Adam. That's fine.
okay. All right. I was told 7, damn it. Click the link, right?
I was,
Oh, geez. So, Laura, what is your favorite memory? I know this is a simple question of Victor Crowley, because obviously you went through most of the movie, and we just wrapped up as you joined.
Answer very carefully if you want to be in the next one.
My favorite anything is Adam Green.
There you go.
No, I don't know. There's so many. We had so much fun behind the scenes. Whenever Tiffany, Perry, Felissa, and I weren't filming, we actually have all these like little movies in our phones that we decided to make up our own horror movie and what we thought would be happening in other parts of the woods. So that was a lot of fun to just get to play with the cast. I also really love, like, there's like a scene where I'm watching Victor Crowley, like when he ends Katie Booth, where I just like get to like lose it and scream, because I remember feeling like I had no energy, and then all of a sudden Adam's like, just scream, and like it just all came out, and it felt so good, and it was, I don't know, it was like a really nice scene. And what else? I loved being in the plane with like Jan and everybody, and it was such a moment of solidarity between like cast and crew, because we're all knee deep in freezing water, but it just made it that much more fun.
I
felt like a real bonding moment.
I can't believe you did it all in short shorts and like, the tiniest top. I mean, I remember being freezing and I was wearing a coat, I had pants on, and yet, yeah, you just kind of, you soldiered through it.
I actually think that like having the least amount of clothes on than everybody else worked for me, because there was a lot of less things keeping me wet and cold. So
fair. That's actually smart.
Slightly easier for me to dry off.
And to Laura's defense too, and obviously I wasn't on set, and we mentioned this earlier, Jan, at least she wasn't like Tiffany, buried into the water for most of her shooting.
Yeah.
So where did Mr. Aaron go? Did you want to bring some stuff up with Laura, since you've been hearing the conversation with myself and Jan throughout the movie?
yeah, sure. So, Laura, I heard it was quite cold on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rank it? Off the
I
charts.
don't remember. I know it was cold, and I know the water was freezing, but I don't remember being like, I don't remember how cold it was. Maybe I blocked it out of my mind. I do remember that like there's a scene where we're all coming out of the plane and we thought it would be really cool. Like the cast actually thought it would be really cool for us to be coming out of the water.
Yep.
And Adam said like, you don't have to do that. And we were like, no, we think it would look really good. And then Adam said like, only one of you has to do it. And I was like, I'll do it. And then Perry said he'd do it. And then I was like, okay. And then Perry looked at me like, hey. So then Perry had to like go in the water and come out. And I'm not 100% sure. Did that make it with him coming out of the water?
Well, okay.
It did.
Yeah,
Because
to
it's just funnier if
clarify,
it didn't.
you guys just needed to be wet down because you were supposed to have swam out of the plane. So we were going to pick you up just stepping out. And then because you had to be wet down, you guys were like, well, we might as well just go in. And there was one of you that did not want to do it. It wasn't you. Well, you can probably figure it out based on who's here. But
Oh, jeez.
Well,
Oh.
she was the smartest one of us all.
yes, for sure.
Perry actually went under. I mean, we like all volunteered, but then I think Adam had said like, you guys really don't have to do that. And then it was, I feel like Perry was the last one to hear that. And he's like, I'm going in. It's going to look awesome. And then it didn't even show up on film.
You see a little bit of it.
Yeah, I thought it came out. I thought it came across. You get the idea. It was maybe not worth the torture for that bit, but you know, it lives on forever in digital
We
form.
do our own stunts.
Yeah.
And I guess I have a follow-up to what Jonathan had asked you. You know, he said, what was the most challenging? I guess I would flip that and say, what do you remember being the most positive memory? What do you remember being, what was your favorite part of being on set and being, you know, in this role?
Honestly, and I don't want to sound like a broken record if anybody's heard me talk about my favorite things of being on set, like on a, it really is like really special. And I'm not just saying this because Adam Green is one of my best friends, but he really makes it with everybody that he casts and hires. It's just such a family atmosphere, and there's such a sense of camaraderie all day long, like from the moment you step on set, from the moment you get cast. I mean, even before we started shooting, the cast was coming over to my house to rehearse. That way that we knew when we stepped on set, you know, we were going to be as professional and as ready as we could be. And so coming on set, it was just a nice, like, you're getting to play with your friends. And so there isn't like one specific memory as much as like the whole project just feels like summer camp in the best way possible.
Oh, that's awesome. So the whole experience was just amazing, it sounds like.
And
Yeah.
I wanted to let Adam know we had somebody from the first movie who wanted to pop back on to say hello.
Okay.
So
Hey, doll.
I can't see you.
Can't see me?
Hey! Oh my God! How are you? I voted
fabulous.
for you.
How
I voted for
nice.
you for SAG.
Thank you, my darling, very much. Thank you.
How
But I
are you?
said-
It's so good to see you.
Back at you. I just said, if Adam's going to be there, I'm going to pop back in if it's okay. Just say, hey. And where the hell is, wait, where the hell is Hatchet 4? 5?
Oh, 5?
I think it should, the ghosts, the people he's killed, come back to kill him. I just want
Dang. Good pitch. Good pitch.
Of course, all of us could come back and just wreak havoc. Just throw in, you can throw another bucket of blood somewhere. Anyway,
Patrika was such a trooper because the night that we shot her death, our key makeup artist had a nervous breakdown and she was wandering in the woods crying. And so we had to send her home. And then the producers sat her down and they're like, don't take the expendables because that's usually what people do. And she's like, oh, I won't. And she took all the towels, like everything you needed to clean up. And so we finished shooting Patrika's death. She's covered in blood and there's nothing to clean her up with, nothing. And she had to just, I think, didn't we put like a trash bag on your car seat or something? And you had to,
something.
oh my God, it was awful. And she didn't complain once, not once.
You know, what's to complain about? I had a great time. It was fun. I'm sorry she had the nervous breakdown. Maybe it was just the fact it was so cold.
Oh, I'm so happy to see you. This is so great.
Back at you, darling. Back at you.
Oh,
Yeah, she mentioned this morning after the first one, she says what she told you already. I have to be there if Adam's going to be popping on. I need to say hello.
Man.
She was so thrilled.
Adore you, and you know that. So.
I love you too. Thank you.
And I told them you still have my head somewhere, I think.
I do. Hold on. Wait. I'll go grab.
It's the best part about the Ariscope Museum, that there's just a collection of corpses back there.
But I was going to bring up why he's grabbing that with Laura, I appreciate, because I heard doing research with this, and particularly Victor Crowley, how Adam and Laura have such a brother-sister relationship. Oh, there it is.
This is the only piece that we keep behind glass because this is like the thing.
Because I'm priceless.
Yeah, we've gotten so many like random offers from people trying to buy this, and like there's no amount I'll sell it for unless somebody wants to offer 250,000.
There you go. And
but no amount other than that.
I'll make several more. We can just auction them all off. I'll come over there and you can just do another head. There you go.
But this is the one that you see in the movie, and this was a nightmare too because the first night we shot it, it didn't work correctly. The wrong nozzle was put in the blood tube, so instead of spraying, it was like a hose, and it just went bleh. So it didn't work. And you can really only rip the skin once because once it's been ripped, it's really hard to reassemble it. But Pentagraph did it, and yeah, this is it. Wow. Oh,
Beautiful.
it's heavy.
Yeah. It's just a case, Adam. Oh, hell. So Jan was talking about how well involved you and knowing everybody's lines and just everything for Victor Crowley because of such a small crew. Is that because, did you have that story in mind for Victor Crowley prior to you deciding to do it, or was it after the thing with George Romero that got you thinking about the story?
It was after George gave me that pep talk that there should be more movies because it was only supposed to be 3. And so when we said 3 was the last one, we really, really meant that 3 was the last one. And when I had to start calling producers and saying, so I wrote another one, they were so angry because like, when you hear the stories about the making of afterwards, it always sounds like it was really fun. But for the key crew members, they're not fun at all. I shouldn't say that. We find ways to have fun, but the budget on the first one was 1.5, which was small at the time. And they just keep getting smaller and smaller, but the movies have to get bigger and bigger. So we shot the 4th one in 11 days. Like you can't make a movie in 11 days. And then it was such a big success. It like rivals the first one now. And so the punishment is, well, if you could do that, can't you do one in 9 days? So, because remember the people who make the money off these things.
This is for them and this is for the horse they came in on. So
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So that's why there's never like a big race to go make another one because you have to get out of the poverty that the last one put you in. So, because remember too, like the cast and the crew, they're there for a matter of days, but I'm on these things for at least 1.5 years. So it's hard. It's really, really hard.
So, no, I think you answered it pretty well. Josh, you said you had a question. Feel free to unmute and come on camera if you wish. Josh, I feel like a Bueller. Did he disappear? Did he die on me? Victor hit him.
I don't see.
This is so great. I didn't even know this was happening until like a few hours ago. Austin was like, oh yeah, you have this thing and click this link. And I didn't know I was going to see everybody. This is so great. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know.
There you go, Austin, or excuse me, Josh. Hey, there you go.
Hi there, everybody.
Hi.
Howdy.
Hi.
How's everyone doing? Good?
Good.
So what's your question, sir?
Yes, my question is, I wrote it down just so I can be more throw. Sorry. Let's see. So I'm as much as possible a horror lover in every way, shape, or form. I have been my entire life. I have a cousin who is also here tonight who kind of indoctrinated me into horror. I recently wrote my first horror screenplay, and I am just wondering if any of you have advice on how to best get it read and get some feedback on it on that sort of front, I guess. It's a queer LGBT horror comedy. I know that's a lot of different genres, but it kind of makes sense in the scheme of the script and stuff.
Okay.
Frankenstein, if you will.
First of all, that is the best possible script you could be trying to sell right now.
Yeah.
So you have a really good shot at selling it, even if it's not great. This is the book that you need to get. The last version of it, I think, was 2003 or 2005, but that doesn't matter. The point is, there's a system and an etiquette to submitting your work so that it'll actually be taken seriously, and like hitting people up on social media or randomly just mailing your script to people isn't the way to do it. But this book details exactly how to do it, and I can't recommend it enough. It's called The Writer's Guide to Hollywood Producers, Directors, and Screenwriters Agents, and it's written by Skip Press. So just remember the name Skip Press. You can probably get it for like $4 on Amazon, but read this book and you will know exactly how to do it.
And
Awesome.
if I could throw this in there, Adam, and I only remember this because Jeffrey Reddick told me this, make sure you copyright it and or trademark.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's in the book. It's only $10 to register your script with the WGA. You can do it online in 2 seconds, but also send it to the copyright office just to protect yourself.
And
Always.
as we're having this conversation, sorry, Katie Booth, live from Philadelphia, has joined us.
Hey, oh my God, I have something for her too.
Hey, is that Jan?
It is. How's it going, Katie?
That's Jan, our DP. Man, I miss you. This is
Right
like the
back
coolest
at you.
guy ever.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm walking down the street in Philly, and it's been raining all day, so we're a little bit messy over here. But glad I could be here with you guys.
Katie left an earring here, like what, 5 years ago, and I said I was gonna give it back to you.
I cannot believe you still have that. I've been meaning to text you and apologize for that for like literally years, and I've been too embarrassed.
Well, I'm still saving it for you. It's like it's like insurance to make sure you come back someday. So
I love that so much. I definitely will.
That's classic.
I love that earring.
The question is, do you have the matching earring to that?
Oh God, no! At this point, probably
Are
not.
you
I'll
kidding?
try-
So Adam held on to it longer
Maybe
than you
I
did.
might. Well, just in case, just hold on to it. Like I might still have it.
I'm like, she's gonna be so excited when the day comes, and she's like, "Oh, that? Yeah, you can throw it out." I'm like, great.
No. Please hold on to it. I love that my earring is there. It fills me with warmth.
Oh, I love it. So how are you enjoying your time in town there?
It's been great. It's been really awesome. Went to Independence Hall today. Didn't actually go inside because it's sold out. And like I said, I didn't plan this at all. But it was beautiful to be there, and like went on one of those little free tours, and then got a Philly cheesesteak, as one does.
Where did you get your sandwich from?
Brother, or
okay.
I think, I don't know. It was good. I don't know. I'm not really like a connoisseur.
Yeah.
But it was good. Went to Penn's Landing, and then
nice
to
area.
South Street. A little bit visited where my cousin used to live on 5th and South, which is such a cool area. Got ice cream. Just walking back to my Airbnb now.
What are you doing out there? Just visiting? Or?
Just visiting. It's my
Nice.
birthday on Monday, so I was like, I wanted to get
Happy
out of town. Thank you, and just decided randomly to come here.
Sure. That's
Nice.
Yeah.
And
22.
Adam, that book is being ordered as we speak. So
Oh, good.
thank you for the suggestion.
And really, really read it. Like read the whole thing, and it detailed because it also explains why things work the way they do, and that's the part that people don't seem to ever want to take the time to understand. So, but this, you'll have the best chance of your stuff being read professionally and taken seriously if you do what the book says. So, good luck.
Aaron, did you have something lined up as well?
Sorry, I was muted. Do we have any other questions coming through?
I'll feed it, but go ahead and.
Why don't we
yours
take
in.
some other questions and we can come back to mine.
All right, who's next on here? Let's see.
I love that Katie looks like she's in the Blair Witch. It's just like it's moving.
I'm walking on like a random street, super dark. I have no idea where I am. And yeah, raining all day.
Or like Unfriended, a scene from that.
Yeah, right. I feel like if a horror movie started right now, that would be just clutch, right? Katie starts running. None of us can do anything to help her. I'm not putting that energy out into the world. I'm so sorry, Katie.
No, it's okay. I feel very safe, man. This city is just beautiful. It's very wholesome-ish.
Oh boy. Jesus. Jason, you usually been throwing some stuff through Messenger. What do you got, buddy?
Sorry, do you guys know which way Wharton Street is?
Oh, it's that way.
That way.
Oh.
I've been here long enough to know which way Wharton Street is. So.
And she'll get what I'm saying with this, but mostly everybody won't. Find Johnny Rockets.
Oh, it's closed. Dude,
Okay.
everyone. Yeah, it's closed. It's a bummer.
Johnny Rockets, the chain.
Yeah.
My cousin used to live above a dentist's office across from the Johnny Rockets on South Street in Philly, and the Johnny Rockets is now closed. So, but Fifth and South is still there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Katie in like 3 years at this point, and the fact that this is how her room is, it's like no time was lost at all. Like it's.
I know, I missed you guys so much.
How long have you been in Philly?
Oh, just literally like 8 hours. No time. I got here at like 3 p.m.
Wow.
What's that?
Still living in New York?
Yeah, I'm in New York right now.
Gotcha.
Well, not right now, but I live there.
Hey, Jan, when you said this is truly a family, I could see why you said that with the relationship with everybody.
100%. It's a weird kooky family with a lot of Carol syrup blood, but I think it's that Carol syrup that binds us all. You know.
The greatest thing that I think I've ever seen was when we did the big surprise premiere of the fourth movie that nobody knew was being made, and we disguised it like it was the 10th anniversary screening of the first Hatchet. And when I called the cast of the first one and told them, because I had to give them a heads up, I didn't want them to be like disappointed when there was a new movie and they're like, why are we here? And everyone still came. And then everybody from Hatchet 2 came, and everyone from Hatchet, like I've never seen a premiere like that where the full cast of every movie that came before it showed up. And so at the end, there was a Q&A. Thankfully, they didn't ask everyone a question or we'd still be there. But there was like 40 people lined up.
Yeah, it looked like a whole like Broadway musical was about to start on stage. That was how many people were congregating. Yeah,
it was the greatest thing.
But what was so interesting is the fact we were all there and we knew what was going to happen, but the fans went berserk.
Yes.
When they went, this is going to be Hatchet 4, and we thought we were having an earthquake. It was just crazy. Crazy.
There's this one person, I wish I remembered his name, but he just made me laugh so hard because he told me, I ran into him at like different events, and he always tells me the story about how excited he was that we were going to watch all the Hatchets again, but he was with his friends drinking beforehand, and he just thought he was going to like get hammered and watch the movies. And then when he realized what was happening, he's like, oh no, I'm too drunk to pay attention.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Too bad I couldn't be too drunk to do this, but you know. Yeah, I got little ones in the house, and I got to behave a little bit. And of course, they want to see. I had a 4-year-old asking to see the movies. I said, "No, you cannot watch the Hatchet movies with us tonight."
Not until you're
Probably a
6.
good call.
A
Yeah.
very good call.
Well, I was corrupted in 80s horror, so I certainly wouldn't want to corrupt a 4-year-old at the same. Never mind, we won't go there. Her parents would kill me.
So, Jonathan, did you get any other questions coming through?
No, if you got something, I got some people messaging me now. So,
Well, I've been keeping track of some of the questions coming through today. So, Adam, I've got a few for you. I think this came up when we were watching the first one. Why is Perry Shen in all the films?
Because he's great.
Because he's
Like,
awesome. I thought that's
What of a question is that?
Wait a second. Wasn't I great? What the hell? Okay, fine. Okay, I had a
I'm
great
just reporting
time. I'm
on what I
leaving now. I'm leaving. I am going away. How is
Harry's
the
not.
puppy? Kiss the
puppy is
dog.
great.
I'm leaving.
Harry's not as good as dying as you are. That's the problem. You're
Well,
very good at dying.
He
Oh,
says
you have got a line there. Boo, that was fabulous. Love it. Love it. Listen to what he's saying, Adam. Really.
he says he has a brother in the first one. His brother, he's filling in for his brother. So we knew we were going to bring him back.
Right.
And then it was just like, well, why don't we just bring him back a third time for no reason? And then in 4, he's still his same character from 3. So he's been in 4 movies, but he's only been 3 characters. He's not that great.
It was
There you
interesting this morning. Somebody said, how come you all left him there with a shovel at his neck? This is terrible. You people were... Anyway. He's back in the other 3 movies. It's fine.
I have one more question also for you, Adam. I think you sort of answered this already, but was Mary Beth intended to be dead at the end of part 3?
No. I purposely came back for one last gasp to leave that open-ended. Because you hear her heart slowing down, and then it cuts to black, and I couldn't just let her die. So we came back for one last gasp just to leave it open-ended. And that gasp created such a stir among fans because there was a theory going around for 2 years that Victor Crowley jumped into her body in that moment and that now she was him. And normally I won't correct something like that. If people want to, I just stay out of it and I don't answer it. But in that case, no, absolutely not. That didn't happen. That would break every rule. No, didn't happen.
Jason Goes to Hell comes to mind. And
I was going to say Adam Marcus would have loved to hear that.
Yeah, but no.
Awesome. No, that's good. Good to hear. In fact, a friend of mine who wanted me to ask that will be very happy to hear that because that was his theory as well, that she wasn't dead, not the latter part.
But yet, Adams, you had mentioned that she was dead for several years.
Well,
so what made you change?
I was saying in my mind, because we weren't going to make more movies, I wanted to think, for me personally, that it was over. And there was no way that she was going to come back. Because if I kept saying, no, she's still alive, then because no matter what I do, I could live, the next one could literally be called the final movie Adam Green ever makes. And before people are done watching it, they'll be tweeting me, well, where's the next one? Where's the next? I get it now, when a trailer comes out, it's, well, when's the next one? You haven't even seen this one yet. Fuck it, just give me, so, I mean, it's a good problem to have. But, yeah, and I try not to spell a lot of things out. Spiral, Digging Up the Marrow, there's purposely things that are left for the audience to think about. And I try not to push certain things. For instance, it wasn't really until after the third one that Danielle and I started hearing more from the gay and lesbian community how much they appreciate having a lesbian hero in one of these movies. And so we purposely never even say it. We didn't push it. It wasn't that's just who Mary Beth is. But the fact that the community picked up on that, and I think the community also appreciated that that wasn't a thing that we had to keep saying. It just was. in other hands, I think that would have been like an agenda being pushed, if that makes sense. So I like giving the audience the benefit of the doubt and the credit that they can figure things out for themselves.
Well, speaking of Danielle, and obviously she jumped on for 2, 3, and her appearance at the end of Victor Crowley. Why was there a switch to have her take over the role?
Tamara Feldman died in 2008. No, oh wait, no, sorry, that didn't happen. Tamara was in a good place when it was time to make the sequel and was taking some really bad advice. And I'm happy to say that we're all still friends. She was there for the premiere of the 4th one. It was amazing to see her there. So yeah, just like at a certain point, the ship had to go. And so thankfully I was able to replace her with the biggest scream queen of our generation. So fans went, oh, she's not coming back. Wait, who? And then that was the end of that. But what's funny is that Danielle did audition for the first one. And the only reason I didn't go with her is because there were already so many horror icons in that cast. And we were afraid it was going to seem like it was a spoof or a parody if every single person had this huge horror pedigree. So that was why I didn't go with her originally. But when I had to call her and ask her to take over, the shit she gave me for not casting her in the first place was, I wish I'd recorded that phone call because it was hilarious.
So Laura had to take off because of being a little exhausted at 8 months pregnant, which is totally understandable. We appreciate her jumping on, but she wants to say thank you and loves everybody of you guys that she knows very well. So best of luck to Laura with the upcoming birth of her new baby. Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
That was it.
Oh, okay. Hey, Katie made it back inside. How about that?
Hey, survived the mean streets of Philly.
Philadelphia. Even though she got turned around a little bit there.
You might be muted, Katie.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, I did that because I was like trying to figure out where I was for a minute. I didn't want to involve you guys in that. Yes, I'm home.
Looks like a nice little cozy spot you're in.
Cozy is the word. very cozy.
Gotta love Center City.
Super cozy, yeah.
Oh hell. Hold on. Anybody else have some questions? Oh, I need a beer. Hey, Mark.
I was going to play off the last one and just say, so when's the next one?
Well, aren't you guys glad you're logged in right now? Because we have a surprise for you.
Ooh.
No.
I don't know. For me.
It isn't a priority right now, mainly because of the pandemic. There were other things that were supposed to be happening, and all hands were on deck on those, and then the pandemic killed all of it. So now there's new things that I'm in the middle of, and when those things are done, then I'll consider maybe coming back to this again. But it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while.
Well, I mean, the pandemic really changed everything in the cinema world. I mean, it changed everything, period. But especially for, I can only imagine for all the passion projects that you put your mind to, Adam. So yeah, it's understandable.
Well, I wouldn't ask him to disclose, but Adam, do you have an idea what direction you would go?
Of course.
And I'm willing to guess because of what you said earlier, and I know you were half joking, but obviously Miss Ortiz would be involved, one would think.
Well, I mean, the only thing that everyone knows is that when we cut to black at the end of the fourth one, she and Andrew Young, Perry's character, were still alive. So she might not make it another 30 seconds into the next one. You know, you never know. It's because nobody's ever really safe in these movies. But yeah, it's a safe bet that she and Perry will be back. We already shot the first first couple shots of the next one.
Oh, nice.
When we shot the fourth one, because it's not like I told Jan to like cut in the middle of Perry saying "fuck," you know. We kept going a little bit, just so we don't need to go back to that location and crash the plane again and everything, just to get them walking away. But yeah, but normally, like when I wrote the first one, I knew what the next two were. Like some of the weapons that were used in the second one, you can see them in the shed in the first one. So like there was a plan for all that. And so with this one, there was a plan for more.
And I love the question in the chat because of what you guys were just talking about being off kilter, but did Victor get vaccinated? Some of the shit people come up with are classic.
Yes, he did get vaccinated.
Good on him. Good on him.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be parts 5, 6, and 7. The fight to get vaccinated.
Yes.
I actually really like the question: is Adam's cameo in each film the same character?
It is.
Is it really? So, are you because you're famously dead in Victor Crowley? You didn't survive, Victor.
No, but I do have a cameo moving forward.
Okay.
Same character.
Okay.
I'll explain. But
yeah, of course.
He started out, he was just a partier, drank too much, wound up in jail, and then over those 10 years, cleaned up his act, became a pilot. You know what bothers me though about that? So that was an ad lib when I did that bit about with the pilot droning on and on with the like, we're gonna be here. And I didn't tell the cast I was gonna do it. We just thought it'd be fun before we cut. I just started going, and they were all so great because they didn't start trying to add jokes, or like everybody got it and just stayed quiet and kept listening and then going back to what they were doing and listening. And for some reason, whenever I'm at an event, people go up to Joe Lynch and they go, "That was so funny when you were doing the pilot bit." And he goes, "Yeah, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, that was an and he takes credit for all and I'm just like, yeah.
Well,
that was one of my favorite parts of the film, honestly. Like, I remember watching that in the screening and thinking it was the funniest shit ever. You killed it. You should be a comedian.
Oh.
Well, Joe Lynch should be a Joe Lynch.
Yeah, or Joe. I mean, whichever.
Yeah. Joe, who couldn't even say his lines. I had to take his lines because he couldn't remember his one line. So I had to say it.
Now, what was the deal with the glasses in there since we're talking Victor Crowley? You couldn't see, or what was the deal with that?
There was a reflection. You could see the camera reflected in our sunglasses, so they had to dull them, and then that still didn't work. So eventually they basically just painted them. So we couldn't see anything. So there were takes where we were both looking in two different directions, or we weren't looking the right, like it was for something so stupid. We lost so much time. And then he couldn't remember his one line on top of it. So I think we spent more time on that than like the kills. Like we ate up so much time because of those glasses.
And I want to get your perspective on this because I heard this from RA when we did a formal interview with him. And Kane confirmed it with a picture, which I showed my co-host Aaron tonight, about during Hatchet 2, Kane got hurt with his bicep. When did that happen? Yeah, when did that happen? And how in the hell did that tough motherfucker survive that whole film with it?
Well, fighting RA. Like, I mean,
is that when that happened?
Yeah. Originally, we were thinking we were going to double RA because, I mean, he went over a table. He went, you know, that was a rough fight, and they really beat the hell out of each other. And Kane got injured early on in that one. Also, during the second one, he was having some sort of an allergic reaction to the costume. So with the third and the fourth, it was silicone, but with the first two, it was foam latex. And for some reason, and Kane's been wearing foam latex his whole life, something didn't agree with him. And so he had these sores all over his back that were bleeding and stuff. Like the costume was killing him. And of course, you know, he didn't complain about it. But the makeup effects crew was noticing it every night when they would take the costume off of him. And so they told me about it. And I'm like, "Are you in pain?" And he's like, "If you tell anybody that, I'll kill you." And Yeah, but that was how he got injured, and he's had some bad injuries and doesn't complain about it. If I have a headache, everyone hears about it for a week. So like I couldn't do it.
Yeah, because it was funny. The reason Kane texted a picture was we were debating whether or not he had that fixed during that whole process of before or after the movie, whatever the case is. And we're sitting there having a debate, and RA, we're doing it on Zoom. He goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "Might as well ask the source." We text Kane. 2 minutes later, you get this picture of this big ass bruise on his bicep, man. It was,
it was bad.
Yeah.
Every cast though, they're not easy movies to make. As much as like if it's like a stunt, we'll have a stunt person do it. They're still running and then doing it again and again and again. And usually it's up a hill and then there's rocks and it's freezing and it's wet and it's like, it's not easy. And nobody complains. There was one night on the first one where the young cast, the like people who like, it was like their first or second movie, started complaining. And I try to not go in the tent because I can't listen to it. And it's an actor thing, but like one person will be like, "Oh, I'm so cold." And then another has to be colder. And then another is like, "What, I'm allergic to cold. I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm so cold." And Richard really sticks his head in and he goes, "Hey, remember the script? It was a swamp tour at night." And everyone just looks at him and he goes, "Okay." And it stopped it. And it was so great.
Let me just say, it was kind of like going to a place where they freeze your fat. So I lost a few pounds. I just got to say. And listen, I'm going to pop off, but I wanted to say, Adam, martinis sometime, please. Let's have lunch.
Absolutely.
So much to talk about. Jan, everybody, Katie, Mark, Aaron, Jonathan, thank you so much for having me on here. It's been a pleasure. And Adam, if you don't call, you're a dead man.
I'm going to call.
Have a good night.
Love you all.
Thank you for popping back on.
Bye, babes.
So great. That was so great. What a great surprise.
Yeah, she was so excited this morning when she said, "I got to see Adam again." Yeah.
For like 2 years after we made the first one, I was like afraid to call her because of how her last night went with the makeup effects, the key makeup artist quitting and her having to drive home covered in all that stuff. I mean, this woman who had won 2 Emmys at that point and had been in like everything, Seinfeld for fuck's sake. And that's how we sent her home. And I felt so bad. I'm like, I'm sure she hates me. And she doesn't. And so it was, I mean, I've known that for 10 years now, but still but she's so great in the movie. Everybody, there's never been a bad cast member. Like, we've been so lucky in all these movies. We just get such great people and they do such a good job and they're great in real life. So I've other friends go through other problems when they're directing stuff and I've never had to deal with that. So I've just been so lucky.
So the obvious question is, you said you had a bunch of projects you were working on before the pandemic hit and whatnot, but what are you focusing on now?
I can't say. One has something to do with a video game, and I can't say anything else other than that. But there's 2 big things that I'm doing right now, and obviously the weekly podcast, and we're gonna have the 23rd annual Halloween short this year, and then Yorkie-thon 6 is coming up in December. Oh, and there's a new Hatchet comic and a new Holliston graphic novel on October 27th.
And the person who asked about the vaccination asked if and I'm assuming he means the video game. Is it Mario?
That's right. The horror version of Mario by Adam Green. That's right. It's coming out. Oh, it's going to be insane.
I've never even said the word out loud before. So I don't even think anyone would guess. It's a very popular game, but it's not my place to say because I was hired to do this. So I can't talk about it. Although normally, I mean, with Digging Up the Marrow with Victor Crowley, I try to not say what I'm working on because I just think it's more fun when people find out about it when they can see it. Because to announce things a year in advance and then have a teaser poster and then a trailer and that, like, when it's going to be a like big giant theatrical release, I get it. But otherwise, I'd rather let the work speak for itself. I get why a lot of people love to always say they're doing stuff because it looks good to be able to say that. But I think by now, at least my fan base knows I'm always doing stuff. So I'd rather just not say. I don't think I'll have that liberty with these two things, though. I have a feeling they're going to get announced before I would like to announce them, but we'll see. But hopefully early next year, people will start, or hopefully not, but I think that's what's going to happen. People will start hearing about it.
Well, I'll wrap with this because I want to save a majority of my questions for when we do schedule the interview. But Ed Marks was with us earlier, and damn
it! I wish I had known this was happening. This was so great to see all you. I can't even. I saw Katie. I got to show her earring. And did Jan get questions? Because Jan had the hardest job on Victor Crowley. The rest of us had it easy compared to Jan. And Jan's the whole reason that movie is as good as it is. Like, it's not the rest of us. Like, that was so hard. 11 days to shoot all that stuff. And never did a light go down and then need to move somewhere else. Like, he always knew exactly what he was doing. We had never shot before that together. And
I don't think you had shot with anyone but Will. Yeah. Oh, trust. It was an intimidating experience stepping into that role. So thank you. I spent the better part of 2 hours watching Victor Crowley complimenting you. So I'm glad there's a little bit of reciprocation.
There's a ton. It was, and then the cast, the fact that they knew everything that they were doing and they had done the work before they got to set, because a lot of times people don't, but they did. And so we were able to shoot 10 pages in a take and then move on to the next.
30. Do you remember the 30-page day?
Yeah. I have a picture of the sides that is on the slideshow in here, and every time I see it, I throw up in my mouth. But yeah,
I'll never forget. I walked by. They were getting Kane into, I think just part of his suit was on, and he was holding it, and he just went, "I've never seen anything like this." And I was like, okay, if Cade, who has arguably been on everything, just said that sentence, that's not a great sign, right? Like, uh-oh.
I thought it was a mistake. I thought they printed the whole script. And I was like, no, we just need the sides. And they're like, these are the sides. And we didn't even have an AD the last couple of days.
No, we didn't. We didn't have an AD for that day. And yet still we got through it. It was truly a mixture of you being so on point with you knowing the material like the back of your hand, because you have a devotion to the script unlike anything I've seen in any other indie director, and every actor hit we never went for second take, right? Because they all hit their lines and it was like, great, moving right along. I can't, Katie, you're also phenomenal, but
Katie, when you saw your death for the first time, were you surprised? Because the way we shot it, you weren't supposed to see your face get smashed in, but then in the movie you do see it. Like, that was editing trickery that Matt Latham did.
You mean my head going through the windshield?
Not that, the where he actually stomps your face.
Oh.
Because when we shot it, he just lifted his foot. We had moved you out, and we had the rubber dummy that he.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah. Oh
when
yeah.
you watch the movie, you'll like, it's incredible what Matt Latham did, and I didn't know he was going to do that. He just was like, "Here, let me run this by you," and he played it, and I was in shock. I was like, we didn't shoot that? How did you do that? But like, you see your face just get like, and it's not digital. Like, it's, well, I shouldn't, no, because it's not CG. He just,
there you go. Yeah.
But he just did some careful cutting out of things, but it's brutal. And I'm like, oh man, when Katie sees this, she's like probably gonna lose her mind.
I'm sure that both me and my parents, who I brought to the screening, were like blown away by this. I was like, Mom and Dad, like, I have no idea what we're about to watch. So enjoy.
My favorite Katie Booth moment from the fourth one was, we said, all right, she came into the airplane window and she said her line, and we said, okay, so now Katie, you can step away. We're gonna bring in the dummy to go through the window. And she goes, who's the dummy? And we all just look at her, and then she goes, I am.
Oh, hell.
I remember that. Because there was no dummy. It was like it was a head or something, right? Yeah, no, I remember that. That's, yeah.
Oh, crap.
And has everyone seen the action figures in Target and stuff? It's so cool. So cool.
Oh yeah, the Toonie Terrors, right?
Yeah, and then the 8-inch one, and they sold like way better than anyone ever hoped for, and so I'm sure there's going to be more eventually. So I just want like an 18-inch one to go with my collection. I'm like, I don't even care about, as long as I get one. When NECA sent me the first one though,
I can only imagine
that, because that was the first time it's really felt legit to me. Sure. Because like after the first one, when Harry Knowles was like the next icon of horror, I'm like, the fans decide that, you don't know that. And it's just never felt like that because it's so hard and they're so underfunded, and it's always like a miracle that we pull each one off. And now to see it get as big as it's gotten is just incredible. But we had contacted NECA a couple times over the years, and they were always just like, not big enough, not big enough. So when the day came that they called us, it was just like, holy shit, he's big enough. It was awesome.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask, Ed was talking about a story of you going to talk with Pixar, Adam. So can you tell that story?
This is so weird. You know, like when you learn a new word and then you hear it everywhere that day, like everyone's saying it, and you're like, I've never even heard that word. That's not like that. I don't know why I use that as the analogy. But like, I just told this story last night and I hadn't told it since it happened. So it's really weird. And Ed's 10 feet away. Like his house is like right there. And I haven't seen him since the pandemic started. He was in another country when it's, okay, sorry, answer the question. Okay. So when Frozen premiered at Sundance, afterwards, it's like this whirlwind of people coming up to you and talking, and you're just hearing like Charlie Brown, like, you know, and this guy was like, something Pixar, we want you to show this to the company and speak. We'll fly you to San Francisco. And I thought it was a joke, and I'm holding the card and it's got the Pixar lamp, and I'm like, why would Pixar want me? They're the best storytellers in the world. But it was real, and they flew me up there, and I got to go to Pixar, and they showed Frozen, and then it was like a 4-hour Q&A where everyone from the company came. And I guess they do that on almost every Friday, where if somebody sees a movie where they admired something about it, in that case, it was like the dialogue, the characters, there was a whole bunch of things that they wanted me to really go in depth. And like the questions were, you can imagine, were like brilliant questions. Some of them not very easy to even answer because I'm not that smart. And it was like, I can't describe how humbling that was, what a compliment that was. And it was like, I think everyone needs that one thing in order to survive all the negativity that gets thrown at you when you do this. And I think that was it for me, where people can take their best shot. If Pixar liked something I did that much, like there's no higher compliment. But what's so great about Pixar is the reason why they're so successful is because they know how to run a company. So as we're walking around and they're just showing me everything, there's 4 people outside fencing, and I'm like, what's going on out there? And the guy goes, oh, at Pixar, if you can find 3 other people that are interested in learning something that you'd like to learn, we'll fly in a professional and teach you how to do that thing. So 4 people wanted to learn fencing. So there they were, learning fencing. If you're not feeling creative, just don't come in until you are. Like, I mean, but then look at their output. It's the greatest, like, they're untouchable. And that's why. So I know, like, you know, Disney is notoriously a very difficult place to work behind the scenes. And they were trying to bring the Pixar leadership down to Pixarify Disney, I guess, to make it a happier place. Like, I don't want to shit talk Disney. I love Disney to death, but when you go there for a meeting and like half the people you see on the campus are crying, like it's a hard place to work. So anyway, but that was the Pixar story, and it was like a dream. The whole thing. It was incredible.
Oh boy! And I noticed we got this question a couple of times in the chat, so I'll go ahead and ask it. And this is for everybody.
Yay!
As horror fans, what is your favorite final girl or boy from horror series?
I mean, I'm a simple guy. It's Sally from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just her actually getting into the back of that truck is the most like, it's the first moment you actually exhale in the last half hour of that movie. And just, yeah. Even when she's there and he's just hoofing after, it's like, So I'd give it to Sally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, white pants, the best.
And who else is? Oh, I guess
Katie's still here. She's like, nah.
Really hard question for me because I don't watch horror that much because I get too scared.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that one.
Have you ever been a final girl? I know you weren't in Victor Crowley. Sorry about that, XOXO. But
Yeah, no, everyone thought it was gonna be me, but I have not. I have not been fine. I know that there are some horror movies that I like have really genuinely loved. I just can't think of any right now. Sure. Bad question. It's like when someone asks you who your favorite music artist is, and you're like, bleh.
Yeah, I love that most people do assume Katie's gonna survive the movie, and with the three of them, with Katie and Laura, and like they're basically playing Will Barrett, Sarah Elbert, and I, because that was how we made the first movie. Was we just went down there, went on a swamp tour, tried to shoot some footage, make a trailer. So I think fans who knew that story from the making of the first one also expected Katie would live. So when she doesn't, I think that's one of the best things about the fourth one is you can't predict the order, how they're gonna go. I don't think people saw Laura's character making it, because she's, especially like dropping her towel in the hotel room, that's usually a dead giveaway that you're dead. But my favorite final girl, I mean, I'm such a Halloween fan, so Jamie Lee Curtis is always going to be the queen, but I love Ashley Lawrence, Kirsty in Hellraiser. I just think that especially at the time, was such an intelligent and tough female character, because a lot of times in these movies, as much in the 80s at least, as much as there was always a final girl, oftentimes it was other people who got them there, or it was kind of just they hadn't been attacked yet, and then they're finding all the bodies and they take out the killer almost through luck. But I feel like Kirsty was just such a different character than what we had seen in movies before that. And Ashley is like, when you know her in real life, just her paintings, and I don't know if you've ever seen her artwork.
I have.
It's incredible. And I thought her episode of Joe Bob, the one that she and Doug Bradley did, I thought that and Eli's were the two best I've ever seen. The conversations were just so much deeper than you usually get on that show. Like, ours was super fun to do, of course, but those two were my favorite episodes ever.
Well, before we wrap, I would like Mr. Green to, and I'm going to have a set made for you as well, and Katie and Jan. We have our friends over at Zombie Gentleman make us custom patches of all of the Hatchet series posters into like that old school leather, or not, old school denim patches from the 80s. So if you could give me a number between 1 and 8, that will help decide the winner to get a set.
Do you want us to say it out loud?
Yeah, say it out loud, sir.
Okay, 6.
All right, let me look at the. Damn, he's out of the room. He had an early, but Rob, I will get his information. Send him a set of those from the Zombie Gentleman. But I want to make sure I get Adam and Katie, and you guys will get some the old school patches as well, which I think you'll appreciate to go with your collection.
Thank
you.
Cool.
So I will obviously get best place to send from everybody, but thank you everybody who joined us today. Thank you to Adam and Katie and Jen and everybody else who was a part earlier. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you so
Night.
much. So
Bye,
fun.
Katie. I'm still gonna hold on to this.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Adam. It's so good to see you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.